Hello, my friends. Welcome back to day 2 of my Northern Kings GT tournament report. Day 1 has been hysterically unpopular. I'm not sure why. Maybe people don't like tournament reports anymore, which is fair enough. Maybe I should do more battle reports. If you would like to see more battle reports, please let me know in the comments. Please let me know that you're hearing this. Is anyone there? Hello? Anyway, I'm going to do it anyway because screw you guys. So, this was my list. If you want an in-depth talk about my list, actually I haven't done the in-depth talk about my list, so I'm going to do that at the end. But in brief, 2 hordes of legionnaires, 2 troops of reborn legionnaires for inspiring, 2 troops of rift walkers, who are the flying guys, a bit like wraiths, but not defense 6 and not shambling. A horde of thunder seers who can redeploy with visions of the rift, and they have brew of sharpness, so they hit on 3s. 2 troops of tundra wolves for chaff, fast chaff that also hits. A storm slayer who's like a troll, and I forget the name of constantly, and I use wrong in every game. And a storm giant who I use where I should put the storm slayer in every game. A stormforged shrine, which is mandatory. And then a riftforger with blade of slashing that I forget constantly. Host Shadow Beast 6 because he goes with Thonar the Broken. That's my list. So game 4. For a recap for you. I won my first 2 games with a score of 21 out of 25, which was very good. And then I lost my 3rd game with a score of 8. And I thought, that's all right. I will drop me down the tables and maybe I'll have a little bit of an easier game. And then game 4 was against the Dark Lord Dan King and his Halflings. I was like, oh, that's not an easier game. That's actually a much harder game than I've just lost. So, yeah, great. Luckily, it's Dan, who I know, and he's very nice and gentle as he eviscerates you. So, he has 2 troops of stalwarts. Defense 4 with crushing 1. A horde of halfling rifles. 3 regiments of edge grenadiers, who are the flying guys. I think of them as flying chaff. But no one else plays them like that, but probably because I don't play halflings. 3 hordes of forest trolls, which if you don't know Dan King, that's his signature. He has, in fact, he always uses the same models as well. He's got these kind of like insects, these big insects that he's painted with this cool iridescent paint. And they are in every list. Either a troll or an enslaved guardian, or they're large infantry hordes, and he's always got 3 of them. He likes that. He's got 2 regiments of aeronauts. Only the 2 Dan, sad. How the mighty have fallen. 3 bloody volley guns. An engineer with the spell ward banner. It's a bit much, isn't it? And an aura of wild charge and a gun. A little sergeant on an Aralaz with a gnome glass shield, and a muster captain on winged Aralaz, which is like a mini dragon, 7 attacks with relentless, which allows him to re-roll misses, something like that, don't care. And this is our table. So we have got 2 hills, height 3. Good writing me. We've got 2 pieces of big blocking terrain here at height 6, I think. And we've got 2 height 6 forests right here. And we've got 3 little swamps. I think they're flat. It's not relevant for this game, but you know, you can imagine whatever you like. And then 2 walls, height 2. Of relevance, this hill is in the deployment zone, 12 inches, as you can see from Dan's very handily placed dice. It's deeply in the deployment zone. And you can also see from Dan's handily placed dice that he won sides and chose the side with the deployment zone with 3 volley guns, which you can imagine are going to go here, here, and probably here. Right? So that's great. That was a good start. I made a big whinge about this constantly to him, and he ignored me, which is fair. And the scenario is push with 2 tokens. So you get an additional token in the middle here, and then 2 tokens to place on your units. Let's see how we deploy. We deploy like this. So Dan has, unsurprisingly, there's his 3 volley guns, as I told you. Now we have got, these are aeronauts. And these, no. These ones are edge grenadiers, and these ones are aeronauts. Okay, the planes are aeronauts. Okay, so we've got edge, edge, edge over here, right? So he's deployed, as I would, pretty sensibly. He's want to trap me between these two buildings because there's going to be a token here that he'll want to get, right? And then he's just kind of, he's got a nice block over here to come down this flank, which has got edge. This is the mini dragon, I've forgotten what it's called. There's one of the trolls and one of the aeronauts, and then the horde of rifles. Yeah, then in the middle, he's got his volley guns on a hill, because of course they are, along with the engineer who shoots. You've got one of the stalwarts, and then you've got double troll with aeronauts in, edge grenadiers there. You've got your little captain lady with the gnome glass shield, your other stalwarts, and on the left-hand flank, you've just got an aeronauts with an edge grenadier support. And so what he's going to do, he's going to put his tokens here onto this unit. These guys are going to push forward, and he's pretty certain he can just smash through whatever I've put there. And then he's going to just take this token with his trolls, because he'll shoot off anything else, which is fair. So I was in a bit of a quandary with this, because I could see what he was going to do, and I need this token to win, right? So the way that I play push, as I've told you before, if you listen to these battle reports, is I ignore my opponent's tokens. I make sure that my token get through, and then I get the middle one. That's going to be a problem for me here, and I really didn't know what to do, because I can't get to these pretty easily, I think, unless I send Thonar. So I put Thonar here, right? And my thought is put Thonar into volley guns. Initially, I've got my speed 9 guys here, my Tundra Wolves, with some flying support, and I've got the triple team here. And really, the giant should be with them, and Storm Slayer should be where the giant is. But I only realised that when my final opponent said, "Why don't you play it like this?" And I went, "Oh yeah." So there you go. So my thought with these is I want to use this stuff to block these guys coming down here, which they'll be able to do reasonably effectively because it's a small area. There's lots of terrain to block them in. Other aeronauts, obviously, ignore that. And then I'm going to put my tokens here on this unit of Reborn Legionnaires on the left, because I've got my big horde and a unit of Riftwalkers. There's not a lot to face off against them, so I should be able to break through with my token on this unit to get over the line, okay? Because all this stuff is going to come down here. And then it's just going to be a maul in the middle, and I hope I've got enough here to push through. The giant will probably get shot off. And then I've got cats to go into the guns, and my horde. I've got one horde and a reborn against 2 hordes of trolls. That's not looking great. So not the best strategy, but sue me. There's his little army. There we go, and there's mine. Oh, and I've got Thunderseers. Where do they go? Right, yes, Thunderseers come and join these guys to really make sure I push those 2 tokens through. So at least I get my 2 across. All right. There's my game face now. I think that's Dan's game face. That's where I put Thunderseers, and you can see my 2 tokens here. And there's Dan's 2 tokens here on his little rifle dudes. Dan does not paint infantry, by the way. This is very unusual to see. Lovely to see, but there you go. And then he won first turn. So just to clarify, I'm playing the Dark Lord Dan King. Current UK number 2, former UK number 1. Won Clash of Kings 3 times. He's a big deal. He'll tell you. He won table size. He's got a hill in the deployment zone, and he won first turn. I'm just saying, guys. I'm not making excuses. I am making excuses. So he wins first turn. So Dan likes to get into combat as soon as possible. Turn 2, if preferable, is preferable for him. That's how he plays. Very aggressive play style. So he shoves his little big dragon thing, whatever it's called. Winged Aralaz all the way down the flank, and then he's supporting it with his edge grenadiers. You've got trolls, stalwarts, and the aeronauts are back there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send my cats into these guys, and then I'm going to put my Riftwalkers here in the terrain with these guys behind them here. Right, so he can't jump me because I've got individuals, and he can't attack my important stuff, only the Riftwalkers. Then he pushes forward in the middle, of course. And on the left, seeing how much stuff I've put there with my tokens, he's sent a reasonable amount of stuff. So he's got edge grenadiers, aeronauts, and 1 stalwart and a little gnome glass shield person. Right? I think I can take that. Let's see. And then he shoots his pistol guy, I think is anything I could see, at my chaff and does 2 wounds, which is very respectable, but they're okay. So in response, I push up like yay. Not very good spacing, I would say, from me. I think I was trying to push forward as hard as possible. But what you see, I've left a very small gap here and no gap here, which is unlike me. I'm usually better with spacing. I don't know. I didn't even drink that much the night before. Who knows anyway, but realistically, these guys should have been a little bit further forward, or these guys a little bit further back, and there should be a gap here. You'll see why. And I push forward super fast here, so I say, fine, you want to charge me? You can charge your trolls or whatever you like into these guys. They will die. You're probably going to shoot him. He'll survive 1 round of shooting, and then I've got my horde to eat you. But not really, because they're on terrain. Whatever! And that's the plan I already told you about on the right-hand side. And then that is 1 point of lightning bolt onto a troll. Turn 2! Oh, I've got to tell you, that was from last turn. I did 5 wounds onto my Edge Grenadiers. Not bad. Couldn't roll the nerve, though. Sadly, they're okay. And that's, right, what that is showing you is that Dan's a very nice man. Because I had intended to put Thonar aligned here. As you can see, Thonar is over the edge. He's like this, due to my poor placement. And Dan went, did you mean to leave him out at the edge, or is that a deliberate trap? And I'm like, what? Oh no, he's supposed to be aligned. And he let me realign him, so that was nice of him. I wouldn't have minded actually if he charged Thonar in cover. He'd have been fine. Anyway. Excuse me. Well, this is what happens. So he decides to overkill on the little cats, get rid of them. And he sends the Aeronauts and the Dragon, both of them into the Riftwalkers. And then on the left, yeah, so this is why it's important, my spacing. You will note an Edge Grenadier regiment has flown 20 and turned and is 1 inch away. If I had been less rubbish and spaced them out a little bit more properly, as I should have done if I was thinking about it, so the hordes are here and these guys to here, this would not have been possible. There you go. Inches matter, people. And the little lady on her gnome glass shield is coming to the Riftwalkers. We expect her to die. And then there's the supporting guys at the front. I really think he's outpowered on this side. That's his shooting. 6 points of damage from the bam, 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 bam onto my giant. Fair enough. The dog's getting excited. Are you excited by my battle report, dog? No one else is. Pipe down. Well, you can growl all you like. You may have growling now for the next 5 minutes. Apologies. And then he just places his... You can see him in the middle of placing Edge Grenadiers right in front of my horde, which is fair enough. It's a good tactic. 1 point of damage there, which is a shame. He nearly didn't roll the 1 point of damage, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to fly!" And it didn't fly, so he did the 1 point of damage, which is what he wanted. And... yes, so then into my turn. Oh, so he killed the Riftwalkers on this side, obviously. So I send Thonar and my Riftforger into the Aeronauts and my Stormslayer into the Winged Aralaz, which is a plane. It's confusing. But obviously, so this is why the Giant should have been on that side and the Stormslayer should be on this side. Right? The Stormslayer is a far better piece to send into trolls to die than a Giant. Anyway, maybe the Stormslayer would have died from the 6 wounds. Who knows? Whatever. So the Giant comes in here as a chaff piece to hold off the trolls while I kill these Edge Grenadiers with my horde. And on the left, so we slide along with the Rift Walkers and we come into the flank of the Gnome Glass Shield hero. Okay. Then, because I am protected by this maneuver, I can turn my whatever they're called, Thunderseers, to face here so I can get these guys. And I drop the tokens with this unit and back up because it's the only option I have. And I have to back them up in order to make this turn to get these in, right? So I back them up, I can see, and I drop the tokens here. Not great, but I put myself in this position, so gotta live with it. Yeah. Then this happened. But, I mean, but let's do some maths, shall we? So the Gnome Glass Shield gives defense 6. Okay, so I did this attack first, which is 10 attacks on 4s and 5s. Right, so let's say it's going to be 5. Maybe 2 wounds. 1 wound. Let's say 1 wound. And then I've got 25 attacks on 4s and 4s, which should be, what, 20, right? Let's say 13 charitably. After that, so an 8 again. So I should have got 8 or 9. You said I got 7, so 2 under. And then I rolled, I think, a 2 or a 3. I think I rolled a 3 or a 4. I just didn't manage it. And now, my horde is going to get flanked by Aeronauts. Yeah. Well, you know, I'm very sad about it. On the other side, I didn't do a lot of damage. Turn 3. So, turn 3, the battlefield looks like this. What has happened? That's a weird screenshot. When's that from? Oh, that's the beginning of turn 3. Maybe that's just showing you what I've already shown you. That's nice to see. Ah. Ha 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 ha. He's mid-movement, maybe? I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so Yes, the Aeronauts. I killed them. Oh, wow. That's fantastic. Well done, me. These guys are boss. We killed them. That's what happened. Sorry, that's why I'm showing you this. Aeronauts are dead. Yay, me. And the Tundra Wolves are also dead. Ooh, me. We didn't do hardly any damage. Maybe I hadn't rolled the damage. Did I forget to roll the damage? No, I did my Cloak of Death. Who knows how many wounds to damage? Maybe we'll see in a minute how many wounds I did here. That will be exciting for us all, won't it? I did kill the Edge Grenadiers here as well. All right, everyone with me? Good. Let's move on. So what he did here, he had his Edge Grenadiers here and he flung them over the back facing this way. Oh no, but it's okay. Thonar will come and kill them. And then the Trolls came into Thonar, hindered. Not hindered because they're Forest Trolls. And this chap carried on trying to kill my Stormslayer. Then in the centre, he moves his stalwarts forward to kind of block off here. And he takes the double. I think, oh, actually, looks like he backed up those trolls. Maybe they were wavered. Who knows? Because I haven't taken any decent screenshot. But he took the flank with these trolls on the giant, which is... And that's a double flank. I don't want to talk about it. I'm sad. And then in the most irritating move of the match, you can see my 10-inch ruler there. These guys just went 10 inches and turned. Out of line of sight here and out of 12 inches here. Isn't that annoying? It's pretty annoying. Giant dies. Very sad about it. Horde dies. Even more sad about it. It's not going well, is it? It's bad enough I'm playing Dan. That's probably why, though. It's because I'm playing Dan. I'm just not very good. Yeah. So they die, and then he reforms like that. So he backs him up a little bit. And then Thonar takes 5 wounds, but he's okay. Yay! Rolling on 4, so that's a positive on this side. Stormslayer takes 1. This side is doing exceptionally well. Very, very good. So on my turn, Thonar comes into the Edge Grenadiers here. The Riftforged decides to take on a horde of trolls by himself. We countercharge here. And that's how many extra wounds we get. So the Shrine hosts Shadow Beast Thonar for 2 extra attacks. He hosts Shadow Beast himself for 2 extra attacks. We kill the Edge Grenadiers. I think we do 1 wound here. The Winged Allies is up to 5 wounds. That's just the same thing again. How nice. Oh, that's showing I've got 11 wounds on these guys from shooting. Last turn he shot me. Ooh. Oh goodness me, my screenshot taking is appalling this game. I think it was obviously discombobulated by how badly it was going. So the horde on the left-hand side, this horde over here, dies. Oh, it died. It's already died. It died last turn, didn't it? That's right. But these guys didn't have any wounds, right? Because they weren't attacked by this guy because that's wavered. So I go into the Aeronauts, which is the right choice. Over here, and then... Could you stop growling, please? I'm trying to record a thing. Seriously? So we go into them, we do 3 wounds, which is rubbish, but at least they're not dead. And that allows him to then come into the flank of these Riftforgers with his stalwarts. Riftforgers, Riftwalkers on turn 4, which is what's happened there. That's not good. So countercharge and flank from them. So they're going to die. It's so annoying. The Edge Grenadiers then decide to just repeat the maneuver, jump over and turn around, out of line of sight. I'm obviously facing this way. Little lady comes into their flank. So irritating. The Rift Walkers die, clearly. And then the Trolls come into this horde who's taken 11 wounds from shooting. The other Trolls come into this little troop who are unwounded. Not for long. The Trolls put the Riftforger up to 5 wounds. Is that what happened? Let's have a look. I can't remember. Yes! 5 wounds. So they're going to him again. Maybe I go into him again. Who knows? Did you not kill them? Is that just 4 wounds? It is! Magnificent. So they survived. They didn't die. Wow. I'm good. So they actually survived. That's just incredible, frankly. But I deserve it. I think we all agree. Which allows me to take my... so there's no wounds from the captain onto these guys. Allows me to take my Thunderseers into the flank of these guys to actually do something for the first time. We again go in here into the Aeronauts. We countercharge the hero to try and finally get rid of her. And I've picked up the tokens on that countercharge because it allows me to walk over them, which is jolly nice. And we do have Trolls who are going to come around the corner very soon, but at least I've got my tokens back. The Trolls have obviously killed this troop and they've overrun. And the Horde died to this Troll unit. So Thonar now pegs it across the battlefield into the Trolls to see if he can do his magic. The Riftforger. So these guys are still trundling forward with their tokens. We're still Clash of the Titans here, not Titans. Riftforger's holding his own, but not for long because they haven't actually taken any wounds now. They've regened them all off. We kill the hero, so we can turn. The Aeronauts, of course, can do what the bloody hell they want. Not Aeronauts. The Aeronauts. Edge Grenadiers. We also... come back. We also kill this little troop, and then we turn. And I don't quite turn far enough, I think. So they're up to 6 wounds. The countercharge will kill this unit, and then I'll have that unit in the back of my Thunderseers. However, my thought is, over here, I don't want these guys coming to the rear of my Thunderseers, because I've got Trolls coming around the corner. But thinking about those Trolls, I really should have turned these guys a lot more. But there we go. In the centre, we do kill the horde of Trolls with Thonar, which is great. Big tick. However, 5 wounds on Thonar, 8 wounds on this Forge from shooting, because he's been shooting me with his flipping organ guns. If he doesn't kill Thonar this turn, we can come down here or maybe up here. Actually, more likely, I think my plan was to send Thonar into them so the Shrine can come and pick up the token. Dash 17 nerve. Already on 8 wounds. It's not going horribly, but this is going to fall apart now this turn. 4 extra attacks. 3 massive wounds. Sad. Turn 5. So, what's that coming over the hill? It's some forest trolls that are actually insects, whatever. As you can see from my turn was not enough. So that's why I further turned it round. I should have turned just a little bit more so I had that angle here, but I didn't. Again, poor positioning, my bad. Edge Grenadiers come into the token unit because why wouldn't you? They come here. The Rifles, who haven't shot the entire game, are just kind of wandering around. You can see them measuring to make sure they're in my table half. And these guys are going to die. This is the turn. There you go. There you go. Oh, God. So only 1 wound of the Thonar, but it does die. Wah, wah. Let's draw a skull. Wah. And then and the Shrine obviously dies as well. So I've got nothing in it. And the Aeronauts kill my unit. So I've got nothing on the edge now. 2 wounds there, so these guys are holding strong. Holding strong with Aeronauts there and Trolls here, so... And the Riftforger, noble beast that he is, finally dies to this Troll unit, who are feeling very ashamed of themselves for being so sucky. And for our Stormslayer carks it as well. Unsurprising, finally died. Yeah, so then the counter charge, I do kill the hero, so I double... Not the hero, they're Edge Grenadiers. I double charge these guys both in. And I turn them like this. Right, so he has a choice of what he wants to kill now. He's going to kill this unit. Sensible. Turn 6, let's have a look. Yep, there you go. He's taken both. So the trolls come into this unit with the tokens, and then to hold them off, the aeronauts come into this unit here. I've got a plan. Over here, so his winged Aralaz. Flight is 20. It's just short on turn 6. He doesn't get the center token, but these guys are in, so he's already got 4 points there. If he gets those tokens, it'll be another 4 points, so he doesn't need it. Greedy. And then he kills my unit, takes the tokens, and turns like yay. At which point he's got 8 points, and he's very happy, and this is his face. Look how happy he is. Yeah. But he doesn't see this. Oh ho 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 ho. I skip past your face. I withdraw an inch, and I turn my unit. Like yay. Wah, splodge. And I come in here. Splodge, that's the official term for Thunderseers going into trolls. So I do get into the trolls, even on my 9 wounds that his aeronauts gave me, which I survived incredibly. And I kill them! And I overrun out of line of sight. Yay me! So I get 2 points. Dan gets 4 points. And that is the end of the game. What a good game. Very swingy. I did the best I could. No, I didn't. I did very poorly. Especially on the left, where I should have dominated. If I positioned better on the left, I would almost certainly have killed all that little bits, because there's only a few little bits, and then swung around, in which case it would have been a draw. There you go. Let's plough on to game 5. Okay, into game 5. The last game of the tournament, and I have another Dan. Not the same Dan, a different Dan, with a rather lovely taste in Hawaiian shirts. And he's playing Goblins, and this is his Goblin list, which hilariously has 3 giants in it. So 3 hordes of rabble, mince and mob with sharpness, double rock thrower and a sharp stick thrower, a wing it with the ranged thing, so it's better shooting, 3 attack plus T3, an eye in the sky for the war engines, or for the lobbers at least. There are 3 giants. There's Groany Snark, flag it with the loot, and then the formation. So it's kind of an interesting take. I think he just had 3 giants and wanted to take them, to be honest, which is fair enough. This is our battleground. So we have our requisite 2 hills at height 3, 2 large pieces of blocking terrain at height 6, a couple of walls. Where's the other one? There it is. A couple of height 6 forests, and a couple of, I want to say flat or height 1, but again, it doesn't matter because it doesn't come into play. Move on! There we go, nice board. The scenario is dominate, so the dominate circle actually is about here. Therefore, I feel there is a strong advantage to having this side. I win sides and choose that side. So poor Dan has to split his army around this piece of impassable. And here is how we deploy. So the left-hand side, he goes 3 giants all together. There's a rabble behind them. Here's the other rabble. And here is his war engine. So these 2 are the lobbers. This one is the sharp stick thrower. There's his wing it. There's another rabble. Mince a mob. King and 2 Fleabag regiments. So nice. Very clear. So here's my deployment against them. So I've got my fearsome threesome here. And it was after I deployed. Actually, halfway through the game, it was Dan that said, why isn't he there? And why isn't he there? And I went, that's a really good point. Anyway, they're here with Riftwalkers behind them. Here's one of my hordes, Inspiring and Tundra Wolves. Shrine, Giant, Horde. There's the other, Inspiring, Reborn Legionaries and Riftwalkers. And on the left-hand side over there is the other Tundra Wolves. Okay, there's his Giants. And there's his lovely army. And there's the rest of it. And there's somebody's knees. Always good to see. So, and you can see I have rudely placed my Thunderseers over here in the corner because they redeploy. And initially I was going to redeploy them here. Look, I've left a big Thunderseers shaped hole in the middle. But instead I put them over there because I figure... Let's skip back. Whoops. Right. This stuff's pretty scary, but I've got these guys to block them up, right? And then in the center, these giants are a problem. There's a lot of nerve to get through. So if I put my Thunderseers here, I can indeed move forward and choose which way to go. But it's far better, I think, to swing them around the flank, because then they can charge into the forest unhindered. The giants then will be scared of them because they're quite strong and might be a little bit more timid in coming forward, which allows me to push forward and try to kill as many of them as possible, because these war engines are going to be killing my giant that I put right in front of them like a numpty. So, off we crack. And I get first turn, which is lovely. And I have, as you see, pushed forward very hard on the left flank. Lines of sight, you can see here, I am out of line of sight of pretty much everything. So these are nice blind spot for these guys to sit in, which is lovely. And then everything else is pushed forward. You can see I've measured out 20 here because these guys are fearsomely fast. And just let him come forward, which is what he then does. I think I do maybe, yeah, okay, there you go. That's lightning bolt, 3 points of damage on a giant. Not bad. Not bad at all. So in response, he just kind of goes, all right then, and pushes forward pretty hard, as I had hoped. He hides behind the forest because he doesn't want Thunderseers to charge him. That's good. That gives me a chance to kind of dictate how I want this battle to go. Yeah, and he's pushed forward relatively timidly with all this stuff because these guys are fragile, right? That's why he's trying to preserve them. So he's kept out of 16 from Thonar, wherever Thonar's here-ish or there-ish. So 16. He's kept just out of 16, which is nice for me. However, the war engines have a field day. 8 points of damage. Gutted to turn 2. Right, so once again, using the giant like a piece of chaff. So I just push these guys forward and I leave them 1 inch in front. The point being that there's now a block here, so I can really push forward with my hitty stuff to say, go on then. Because I can now charge, pretty much as I want. The Thunderseers are nose in the forest, so they can see through it. Everything's looking good. The giant, who is pretty much dead already, just decides to have a go here. And on the left, I use my Riftwalkers as a screen. So you can see I've screened quite nicely here. All the hitty stuff is behind them. Ready to go. Giant, though, he's very cross, about 8 wounds. And he does 11 in return and wavers them, which is excellent news. However, being wavered, this is now turn 2. There'll be a... oh, yeah, no, I had a turn 2 dice, isn't it? It's his turn 2. So on his turn 2, in return, he backs them up, which allows this giant to flank. He didn't fit because of the big weapons and everything, so he's actually facing that way. So he's flanked my giant, which is wah wah. And then these guys come in here. Like so. No choice now. It's go big or go home, because they are, after all, giants. And then, right, so he decides to just commit. And he commits like this, and he ummed and ahed about it. And after he did it, I kind of patronisingly gave him some advice, right? Here's what I would have done. I would have sent this one here and this one here, right? So you'd had one there and you'd had one here. The reason being, what that does is it boxes in Thonar, who's the big threat here. That's what I would have done. Let's see how his strategy paid off and see if I was forced to eat humble pie. That is the bolt thrower, I believe, bolt throwing down this tiny gap. 5. So, this Fleabag Regiment does 14 points of damage to my tiny Tundra Wolves, and then he double ones it. Now, this tournament had a tournament reroll, which I forgot for most of the tournament. And so he re-rolled his double 1 into a 1. It's not fair, is it? That's not fair. Anyway, that's funny. And then forcing me to somewhat eat humble pie, which is kind of funny. It's why I told you. I'm like, well, here's what I would have done, Dan. He's like, oh yeah, maybe that's a good idea. And then he rolled the most spectacular amount of win. He rolled 5 6s, so 5 points of damage to himself, and then 20. Is that 12? 16. I can't count. 16 and a waver. I mean, it very easily could have killed them. Only 21, 23, but he didn't roll well enough in his nerve check. But he wavered my horde. So live and learn. Maybe his tactic was all right. Who knows? And then, in what is maybe the worst turn of Kings of War I've ever had played against me. I mean, that's 20 wounds and another double 1. from that giant. That is utterly disastrous. I take no credit for this going well at this point. None whatsoever. But at least he killed the Riftwalkers. Yeah, and the Tundra Wolves. That's not unexpected. So this is turn 3. Where's the turn dice? You haven't taken it, Stephen. Turn 3. Idiot. This unfortunate giant gets double flanked by Reborn Legionnaires and a horde of Legionnaires. Whereas this giant, who is very, very dead, not even devastated though, goes into the very heavily wounded rabble. Cloak of Death everywhere. We ignore this giant and the Thunderseers come into this giant. So we leave one giant untouched. Couldn't get to him. And then Wavering is all very well, but of course the shrine has an aura of fury. So we come over here, we counterattack these flea bags. We counterattack here, devastated, and we go in the flank here. And I take Thonar. So the Riftwalkers come over here to block off the Mince Mob, which is very scary. Whereas Thonar has a go at the King, because the King is inspiring. This guy couldn't see anything, so he just came around and turned this way. Oh, there's the dice. There's the dice. That's me again thinking, oh, I'll put it in the right place later. Didn't. Anyway. So Thonar with 9 attacks this time, thanks to Host Shadow Beast from the Shrine. Comes into the King, manages 7 wounds, doesn't waver or kill. So that's unfortunate. And the Riftforger with 5 extra attacks. I rolled 5 4s. Sadly, only does 3 wounds off of those 8 attacks. So, boo him. Failing for the first time. And we get 2 wounds on the Mincer Mob, which is frankly spectacular, given the defense 6 from the front. However, the counterattack from the Horde finally does some damage. Hordes of Legionnaires don't do a lot of wounds, weirdly. We do, however, kill the giant with these Thunderseers like a boss, which is extremely good rolling, frankly, isn't it? Because it's 30 attacks on 3s. Okay, that's good. So let's say 20 hits. But then on 4s, so maybe only 10 wounds? You know, so I'd have to roll really, really high. So I am getting very lucky this game. We also kill whatever the other thing was. Oh, the other giant, the double attack giant. Yeah, absolutely. Walloped it. And my giant wallops the rabble that was here. So, a spectacularly good turn for me and very unfortunate for Dan. So the King, having survived Thonar's mauling, comes into this very damaged horde, hoping to finish them off. We have a counter charge here with the same. This rabble decides to take on Thonar. Good luck. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Thonar. Whatever. And his Flying King, who has not put in a Grony Snark, who's not put in an appearance yet. He's been hiding behind the giants. I've not even shown you where he was. Let me show you where he was. He's here, hiding. What a coward. Very goblin-like, though. Decides to come and finish off this giant, which he almost certainly can. And then it's a double charge from the rabble and the giant into this horde. Oh, yes. And then, so this is the Wing It coming around to start bombing these lads here because there's not a lot that the war engines can see now. So, yep, Grony Snark wallops my giant, who's lived far longer than he should. However, these rabble, man of the match, these rabble, look at that. 8 wounds on Thonar and a waver. Absolutely gutting. Luck is turning, clearly. Or not, because what happens there? Oh, yes. That's right, the King doesn't do any wounds. 0 wounds, they remain on the same. Wap, 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 as Andy 2D6 would say. However, these already devastated Tundra Wolves, of course, die to this attack, which takes them from 8 wounds. Then he rolls 4 6s, so they're now on 12 wounds. Not long for this world. And the Mince Mob kills the Riftwalkers on the counter charge. Double attack here. Unfortunately, is it hindered? No, it's not. It's on a hill, isn't it? It's not hindered. 11 wounds, which is plenty, but not enough, sadly. Turn 4. Oh, look, a turn dice. Well done, me. Because this happens now. So that's that, isn't it? From here, obviously, these guys coming here. These guys coming here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Not good. I think we also countercharge here, just to make sure, because he's tougher. And then, of course, Wavering Thonar is bad. Aura of Fury, you know, I didn't use it the whole tournament. This game, Wow, so useful. So the shrine comes up here. His aura now touches Thonar. That is 6 inches. Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. That's 6 inches, I promise. Or it was, because he was like this, right? Anyway, trust me. Riftforged in here, and then the Storm Slayer comes into the Mincer Mob to sacrifice himself to buy some time. We countercharge the king. And that's about it. Yep, so we finally kill off those fleabags. We kill off the king. We don't kill off the rabble by the looks of it. We an extra wound. Oh, I think we don't even wound them actually, do we? They're already on 3. So that's unfortunate. Oh, maybe just 1 wound. How many wounds were they on? Let's find out together. How exciting. 2 is 1 wound, good lad. 8 attacks, 3s and 4s, 1 wound. That's not great rolling, but it's enough. To strip that thunderous charge. There we go. And then on this side, everything dies. Obviously, just Groany Snark and all the war engines left. So Thonar doesn't, he really underperforms here. Only 5 wounds there on them. When they were on 4, they were on no wounds. So he does 5 wounds. It's pretty good. I'm going to say it's pretty good. I don't know how many extra attacks he got. Alright, so there we are. That's what we look like. So it's looking very strong for me. Dominate Circle is obviously like, let's guesstimate like that. Right, so unit strength left alive on his side. There's 1. And that's 2. So it's 3 unit strength left alive. Oh, also the rabble. Another 3 unit strength. Oh, yeah, right. So what he's done, that's what this is showing you. The Wingit has flown over here and has flung some bombs at my horde. I think also there was some long range shooting here. I think this one can't see. This one probably can see as well. Through that. Oh, my mouse is not going very well. You know what I'm saying. Through this gap? Yeah. Anyway, they die. Look at that. All of that shooting, only 2 wounds, but it's enough. Just as well. Thonar gets an extra 1 wound, so they failed to repeat their spectacular charge last time with only 1 wound on him, and he's okay. However, the Mincer Mob does what Mincer Mob does, and it minced my Storm Slayer. And then Groany Snark went into my little Reborn troop, and I put 5 wounds on them, which is very, very painful. Okay, turn 5. So one thing I forgot to mention was that this horde was wavered from shooting last turn, so he shot them with the bolt thrower and wavered them on 13 wounds, which is particularly poor. So actually my position isn't as quite as secure as it could be, because this block of nerve, this rabble, has only got 5 wounds. He's got a defense 6 kind of killer thing. What was it called? Mincer Mob on 3 wounds. And a very mobile piece of unit strength, right? I've got 1 troop on 5 wounds. I have got Thunder Seers, but they really need to do something about these war engines, because if I just park myself in the middle, they're just going to bomb me off, right? And I've got this wavered horde on 13 wounds. So, I've got a couple of characters who are pretty good, but again, 9 wounds. It's not quite as secure as it should be, given how dominant I've kind of been. Anyway, so Thunder Seers go into the Spear Chuckers. That's one causing me the grief, and I turn my horde like this because what it does very handily is put me within 12 inches of these indirect lobbers. Okay, the troop goes back into Groany Snark, and then over here I bring up this troop, somewhat foolishly actually, because if you look, there's now a line of sight on them, but there you go, couldn't be helped. So bring them up into the Dominate Circle, go back in with Thonar, and and that's what we've got. I'm not sure what I do with this thing. What do I do with it? I don't know. I'll probably host Shadow Beast, don't I? Yeah. 4 extra attacks from Thonar, gives him 10 attacks, puts them up to 12, and I waver them, which is pretty clutch at this point. That's pretty important. Even better, I prefer to kill him, I'm not going to lie, but I waver Groany Snark as well. Obviously, I mean, hands up, we didn't roll 90 attacks. Maybe I think I did roll 90 attacks, actually. I think I said, no, I'm going to roll them. But I rolled about 60 before it was on like 25 wounds. We just rolled the double one, it died. The war engines come over here to hide. The wing it, I mean. The Mincer Mob is obviously coming over, but it is now stuck behind this bloody great big horde. Which is good for me. So that is, what's that? That is, right. So, oh look, my dice got turned over. There we go. So it was 13. That's the wing it, bombing them, trying to get rid of my horde. Because if it gets rid of the horde, right, I've got 1, 2, 3 unit strength. Let's assume this dies to 1, 2, 3 unit strength, and it's a draw. That would be annoying, wouldn't it? Anyway, the wing it only does 1 point of damage, and they're okay. Phew! And the other 2 war engines don't take out, they take a pot shot at this troop, 3 wounds, but they're thankfully okay. So I'm really clinging on to this by the skin of my teeth, because actually if he kills that one and that one, he wins. I sound disgusted by this. Disgusted with myself. Turn 6. So turn 6, we charge in with the troop, we charge in with Thonar and the Riftforged just to make sure. They obviously die, so that's his unit strength gone there. He's still got 3 left, so obviously he's going to come in and take out one of my unit strength. That's what I'd do. That's the dominate circle you can see there. Got my shrine just sitting pretty on it. We take out another war engine, and we turn. So I turn the horde so that I'm within 12. And then these guys just come and hide here. So now I have got... That's still 4 unit strength. Let's assume the wing it kills it. 1, 2. That's it. And he's got 2. Because that's going to die. So the wing it comes through here, so it can bomb here. This can't shoot anything. I think that can also... no, I think I'm still within 12. So it can't shoot that either. So yeah, he kills my troop. So he's now got 3 unit strength in. But, unfortunately, he does not kill the horde with the winging. I could have made that more dramatic then, couldn't I? A bit more of a drum roll. But I didn't. And that's the end of the game. So I cling on to victory by the skin of my teeth. I could well have lost that. If he'd have rolled better on the last turn with that wing it, shooting into that horde, he would have won. And yeah, there you go, by the skin of my teeth. So here's how we ended up. So I actually came in 12th after hobby scores, which is what we call cheating. So 17th in battle. This is the battle rankings, which is what counts for UK Masters. Out of 38. So I came, just above half, which is about appropriate for how poorly I played and my list, which I'm going to talk about more. John Quayle came top. John is a fantastic player. Normally plays Basileans, playing Night Stalkers because they're broken. George Charles, also a fantastic player, playing Night Stalkers. And then Chris is the current UK #1 with his L's. He's fantastic. My friend Simon, if you're interested, he was top after day 1, came 6th, so well done to him. He came 4th in battle, which is very, very good. Dan King bobbing up here, 7th. His lowest placing of the season, as he was at pains to tell us. But a really good tournament, really incredibly well run. I know Nick has posted at length about his experience of running it and the troubles and trials and tribulations they ran into, but they did a magnificent job of hiding that and did very well. So let's have a look at my army and see what I think about it. So it doesn't quite work for me. And there's a problem with kill points. So let's look at my kill points here. Total kill points, 6,030. Look above. No one gets below. Wow, actually, Chris Link's there, 5755. Okay, I take it back. But then he's playing an all-nimble army, so a very clever positional army. So maybe just us clever players, we don't kill a lot. Am I right? Anyway, my army should kill more. I think it's got quite a lot. Everything's different. Everything's melee 3, right? I kind of feel it should kill more than it does. And much though I love it, and my model is awesome, I'm really struggling with the giant. Because he just died. I'm also struggling with the Stormslayer. I had a good chat with Rob James, who beat me in game 3, who's starting with Riftforged Orcs, and he's a big fan of the guys on the Manticores, not the Hell Strikers, but the heroes, the little heroes flying around. So I'm going to try it with a couple of them, and maybe with the formation. See how we go with that in my next tournament. So let's have a look at that. There's my army. There you go. So We're killing this guy, having spent hours and hours making him. I'm probably going to drop these guys as well, because while they're nice, they're just not as good as Tundra Wolves. And I might have to paint some more infantry. God help me. Also, I think the Thunderseers have finally got to go in the bin. I've got some Mantic Thunderseers half painted, but I rather feel it's the end of the road for them. I struggle to get them, and you have to protect them because they're so fragile and waverable. By the time they get in, they're often wasted for the amount of points they bring. So that's just my thoughts. Here's some lovely armies. This is a fantastic display. Well, this one better you. This is a single unit. This centerpiece, by the way, a single unit of. Is it Elohim? No, Dracons. Ridiculous. But the whole board lights up. You can see it's all got LEDs. It's very clever. And this. Oh, sorry, it's so blurry. That's annoying. This is John's fantastic army, fantastic Goblin army. Really, really lovely. He's just won a tournament, another 2-day one, which is really good. This is Chris Lynch's army, fantastic elf player, UK number 1. All nimble, including a chariot troop. Gross. I like this army a lot. So this is another guy called Rich's Basilean army, entirely modular. Every single model has tiny magnets in its feet, and you can pop them off, so you can put them into different configurations. Really clever. There's Fred's Undead. And that is Dan's Halflings. They're definitely Halflings. Sure. See, a lot of them are Halflings, to be fair. This is a Force of Nature army. I don't know whose it is, though, because there's no name here, but very nice. And that's the other Halfling army. It's Matt, his Halfling army. Some lovely dwarves here. Oh, give them a proper look. They are nice, aren't they? Very old school, these dwarves. Look at these figures. I've seen these. Goodness me. And this is one of the other... This is an Aldrock army. I think I recognise Bob of Bob and Jan fame. He likes his Brocks. No idea what this army is. I literally could not tell you. Looks fab though, doesn't it? It's got flying guys. Is it Allied Basileans? Just Basileans? Am I Basileans? I think it's Basileans. These are Matt James of Rules Committee fames. Dwarves, they're all Rangers. 4 regiments of Rangers with Elementals and Brocks. And then this is Simon's army. This is his Bristle Dwarfs. Double Hellfanes. Gross. Really, really nice Northern Alliance army here. Very nicely done. Another Northern Alliance army. Oh, these are the... Oh, this is Jessica. She writes for Dash 24. Fantastic old school transparent resin ice elementals. Very lucky. Here's one of the 6 Night Stalker armies. 6! Full of soul flares. I'm not sure which one this is. Is this I don't know. No name. Could be anyone's. And that is, of course, Rob's Dwarves that he thrashed me with. This is one of my favourite armies. But one of my votes for best army. It is Gopher. Comes from Scotland. With the most ridiculous Portal of Terror ever. Look at that. The whole thing measures about 20 inches tall. It's ridiculous. But great. Brilliant. Fantastic. Wonderful. Wow. This is another Force of Nature army. Lovely one, actually. Oh, I think this is Danny Graves. Yeah. Looks maybe. Yes, it is. It's got a Hydra in it. He loves a Hydra. And this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful army. A guy called Nick. It's a Trident Realms army, one player's choice. It is breathtaking, as you can see. It's got this amazing golem miniature, which I've seen before. He's just done it very, very clever. He actually used to run a Twitch painting channel. You see the amazing effect he's done for the sea on the bottom of the bases. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Well-deserved player's choice. And that is the end, my friends, of this tournament report. I hope you liked it. Yeah, and I'm going to another tournament on Sunday, assuming that I am testing negative by that point. I'm testing negative today, so it should be. And I'm taking a slightly altered list. We'll see how that one goes. And as I continue these incredibly popular tournament reports, he says with heavy sarcasm. I hope you all have a lovely day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.